Hey guys, and a few years ago I made a video about how Paper Mario could learn from bug fables, and now that I've beaten Escape from Ever After, I wanted to do a similar discussion with Escape from Ever After, but now I feel like we're in a much different context with the Paper Mario series, considering the fact that we got the Thousand Year Door remake, and Tanabe is retiring, though I feel like the latter has less impact than the Thousand Year Door remake. Tanabe was far from the only influence on modern Paper Mario across the 2010s and early 2020s, technically with Origami King. But I would have to say, the series is in a much better state now, and I feel like the future of the series is bright. As long as they continue in the path of the Thousand Year Door remake, and the next game retains a lot of the elements from the first 2/3 games in terms of story, it also retains some elements from Origami King as well, since I think a lot of elements from Origami King are compatible with a classic style Paper Mario game. But I actually think there's also some elements from Escape from Ever After that would be nice to see in a new Paper Mario game in the future. And I just wanted to say real quick about Escape from Ever After. This game is absolutely incredible. I would say it's one of my new all-time favorites. The final boss is brutal. I just beat it earlier, like right before recording this. I was actually attempting to do it on stream and then just decided to finish it off stream because I was getting a little exhausted. I might do a spoiler discussion or a /spoiler review. I'm not going to spoil anything in this video, but very well designed final boss. It just took like 4 tries for me. But I would have to say, in Escape from Ever After, the battle system is excellently designed. I feel like it isn't cheesable like Thousand Year Door's battle system, but at the same time, it does have a lot of those nuances as well. I think one thing that sets it apart from 64 and Thousand Year Door is the fact that it's much more focused on being on the defensive side rather than the offensive side. Since in Thousand Year Door, you could basically cancel out any enemy or boss's attacks, with a few exceptions, with a Super Guard, and the Super Guard is not present in Escape from Ever After, except for a badge that works kind of similarly, and at the same time, that is a badge and that's optional, and that's what I think they should do in the next Paper Mario game. Make Super Guards either optional, or make it to where they use up a little bit of star power at a cost to Super Guards. I know they are a great risk versus reward system, and they are hard for casual players to pull off, but once you get used to the Super Guards, and I've actually got used to like quite a few of them in both the remake and the original version of the game, it definitely makes things a bit too easy. So I think they should keep it in some form to allow for some strats and things. Like if you want to try to like defeat enemies without like attacking, or if you don't have like a lot of like attacks available to you, like there's a lot of different ways where Super Guards could be used, or like minimal damage runs, things like that. I think like a Super Guard still makes sense, but like add a little bit of a cost to it. But another thing is the fact that you can't like stack up a bunch of attack upgrades. I haven't really encountered many strats in this game where you can like stack up like a bunch of attack upgrades on top of each other. There might be something like that, but most of the attack upgrading moves or items in the game can't be stacked, and they only like last a certain amount of turns. They're like more based on an amount of turns, kind of like the huge status in Thousand Year Door, rather than like stackable things like charge. Again, I haven't really tested this out much, but it doesn't seem like it's very cheesable. And another thing that I love about the battle system in this game is the fact that the enemies can do quite a lot. It kind of expands upon what enemies can do in 64 and Thousand Year Door. Then some enemies can now have shields and stack up on top of each other, or like have a force field emitted by like a separate enemy. I know that some enemies can do that in Thousand Year Door with like the Yuxes, and also Grotus, but it seems like much more enemies can do it now. Like I think there's like a wider pool of enemies where that is possible, and I think that is really cool. I definitely would like to see that in a future Paper Mario game, like some kind of like shield mechanic. I think there are like a couple enemies in the Paper Mario series that can do something similar. I mean, of course, like, there is, like, defense stats and everything, but I'm kind of referring to something slightly different than that. Like, you can straight up, like, not attack the enemy, like, it completely shields it. Almost like Shell Shield a little bit, but there is, like, the shield guys in Color Splash. I assume they do the same thing. I haven't fought any of them in Color Splash yet, because I haven't gotten super far. I think I'm about halfway through Color Splash, but I haven't encountered them yet. I assume they do something similar, but I would like to see that mechanic in a Paper Mario game. Like, both the shield and, like, the stackable enemies. I want to see, like, Tower Goombas or, like, Shy Stacks. I know there was, like, a Shy Stack in Paper Mario 64, but, like, more interesting enemy formations would be pretty cool. And I also like how Escape from Ever After treats, like, spiked or flying variants, at least flying variants. I'm not sure about spiked variants, but, like, at least the flying variants are treated as the same enemy, so when you tattle them, it also counts for, like, the flying variant. I think having the flying variant be tattleable might be a little redundant, I would say. I mean, they do have different moves, but maybe certain enemies could be condensed into one single tattle, and there could be, like, sub-variants for, like, each enemy. It will show you, like, the different moves that, like, each enemy can do. But I kind of like how Escape from Ever After kind of simplifies it a little bit. And it also makes it, like, a bit more convenient if you're, like, in a battle with, like, a bunch of those types of, like, the same enemy, but, like, different types of them. So it, like, tattles all of them rather than just the grounded or the flying variant. A small thing, but I did think that was pretty convenient. I also love how you can make different badge builds for each party member. I think it makes the badge system much more nuanced now, as you can make one party member have much more defense, or have one of them have a stronger appeal, or fill up, like, the meter for synergy even more. I just really like what you could do with this system here, and I think it definitely makes the game replayable, as there's, like, infinite possibilities. I know there's, like, infinite possibilities in Thousand Year Door too, but, like, I feel like this expands upon the system even more, since, like, each badge is also, like, compatible with each party member, because in Thousand Year Door, there were certain badges that didn't apply to the partner, like Spike Shield or Ice Power or All or Nothing. I thought that was a little annoying, and I also thought it was annoying that in the remake, they didn't make partner variants of the badges. I mean, at that point, just make the badge apply to both partner, but having a different badge setup for each partner is also a great solution to that. So if the next Paper Mario game doesn't have, like, the badges apply to all the partners, they should at least do something like that. And I feel like it's, like, the next logical step from, like, 64 to Thousand Year Door to, like, another game based on that style, because Thousand Year Door kind of gave a lot of options to the partners, but Escape from Ever After gives even more. Like, it kind of makes it to where Flint isn't even, like, the Mario of this game. I mean, he kind of is in the overworld, but each partner in battle is practically equal. In Thousand Year Door, and of course 64 as well, Mario was, like, the essential party member, like, the most powerful one, like, the one that had the most abilities. It made sense, because that's, like, how most of the Mario RPGs work, aside from Super Mario RPG. But I like the fact that it gives, like, all of the party members, like, an equal importance in battle. I think that's also kind of what Bug Fables does as well. It's been a while since I've played Bug Fables, but I don't think they have to do this in the next Paper Mario game, but at the very least, make it to where partners can do more. They don't have to make it to where you could swap out Mario. I think having Mario as the main party member and always being in battle makes sense for Paper Mario. But I kind of want to see the partners expanded upon in the next game. And another thing that I appreciate about Escape from Ever After is the coin economy. I feel like the coin economy was a bit too inflated in Thousand Year Door, because it gave you a ton of... I wouldn't even say inflated, it just gave you too many coins, and it did trivialize some things in the game. My guess for that was to kind of make healing a little easier for casual players, so they don't, like, use up all of their money if they keep having to retry bosses and things. I think that was kind of a measure to prevent, like, casual players from being too frustrated about that. But in the next Paper Mario game, I think maybe they should fix that a little bit. Maybe don't give quite as many coins after beating a boss. Like, I didn't have too much of a problem with the coin economy in the Thousand Year Door remake, because you could simply, like, choose not to buy things. But at the same time, like, I think they should at least maybe, like, have a better coin economy and maybe, like, in normal and hard mode, and then have that inflated or, like, just in coin economy that gives you a ton of coins in, like, the easy mode. I think that might be a good way to handle that. I think that would also be a stronger case for the next game having an easy mode as well, because you could just, like, I know there's the argument that Paper Mario doesn't need an easy mode, because you could kind of just, like, grind and get, like, a ton of badges to trivialize the game, but I do think, like, changing the coin economy, as well as, like, some other things, maybe, like, some, like, enemy stats as well, would make sense for an easy mode. And finally, I think there's even some story aspects that Paper Mario could learn from Escape from Ever After, and this is also something that the next Paper Mario game could learn from Origami King, and that's the fact that the partners seem very fleshed out in terms of their stories and interactions in the game. It feels like all of the party members in Escape from Ever After are heavily contributing to the story. In 64 and Thousand Year Door, it seemed like the party members were really only relevant to a specific chapter, aside from, like, a couple moments in Thousand Year Door, like Vivian. I feel like Vivian was pretty fleshed out throughout a lot of chapters. But in Escape from Ever After, almost every party member has a lot of significance to the story, especially Tinder. Tinder almost feels like the Huey/Olivia equivalent in this game, because of the fact that she shows up so much throughout the story, has a lot to say about basically every chapter. I know she's not, like, officially that type of partner, but it kind of feels like it in a lot of ways, and I really like her personality as well, and the fact that, like, the bond between her and Tinder goes from sour to basically friends by the end of the game is, like, actually really cool. Like, there's a lot of character development for each of these characters. I would even say, like, Patches as well has a lot of significance as well. I would say Patches is my favorite character in the game. I like his design, and his story is pretty interesting too. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's actually pretty surprising by the end. And the story is also, like, kind of sad and pretty dark towards the end of the game. I would even say on a similar level to Super Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi Brothership. And I mean, of course, this is something that the next Paper Mario game could learn from a lot of different Mario RPGs, but I definitely want to see a darker story with higher stakes in the next Paper Mario game. It's not essential, but it would just be something that I'd like to see. But anyways, I think Escape from Ever After adds quite a lot to the table in terms of the Paper Mario formula, and I highly recommend it. I'm gonna do a full review soon, but this is easily my favorite Paper Mario-like. I think I even like it more than Bug Fables. But anyways, let me know what you think of Escape from Ever After down in the comments, and thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!